Trunka parašyti knygą 9 mėnesius. Ar tai buvo ir su Majos istorija?
Exactly. I mean, it's 9 months every time from conception to birth, which is just really weird. No matter what day, you know, what month I start in, or how much time I take, it is always that 9 months. And in some ways, it is like giving birth every time, because the only sad thing is that obviously when it's finished, I have to hand it over to its adoptive parents, e.g. the publishers. And that's a very, very sad moment for me. And at the moment I'm so happy because with the 7 Sisters, of course, I don't have to say goodbye to any of these characters for the next 4 years. And I think when I do, obviously I'll probably need therapy because, you know, what will I be without them? Because they invaded my mind and my thoughts for such a long period of time.
Jūsų romanuose susipynę veikėjai, jų santykiai, istorijos ir epochos. Kaip jūs pati nepasimetat tame visame, pradėjus rašyti, nusibraižot kažkokį planą, grafiką, iškabinat namų sienas kažkokiam lentelėm? Kaip nesusipainiat?
Oh my God, you're making me scared now. I never look at it like that. I tell you what I do that makes it, I think, for me a lot easier, is that I do write the past and the present at different times. E.g., I write the past first, because of course all of the present has to come out of what happened in the past. So the past is finished and it's one whole story, because for any of you who have read my books, you will know that really there are 2 separate stories with 2 separate lots of characters in each. So the past is done, and then I go on to write the present, which makes it much easier to then pull the threads together from one to the other.
Apie ką jums įdomu rašyti? Apie dabartį ar praeitį? Nes visose romanuose praeitis egzistuoja.
Good question. Can I have some time to think? No, I love writing the past. I mean, you know, I have 2 passions in terms of work, and one is history and one is telling stories. So, of course, the 2 go together. But I wouldn't just like to write the past. And I think the big thing that I love writing is the twists and turns and the threads between one and the other. And often I don't know how it's all going to come together right until the end of the book. And I will get this sort of wonderful moment where I'll go, oh my God, you know, that's how it happened, that's how she found out. That is the connection, you know, and those moments are so sad because I feel as though I've just won the World Cup and I'm normally by myself. I'm like, oh my God, that is so fantastic, Lulu, I'm so happy. You know, and I get really high all by myself wherever I am in the world, you know, and sort of hop around the room.
Ar turite prototipus savo personažo, apie kuriuos rašote, ar turint prototipus, jeigu juos turite, yra lengviau rašyti?
No, I don't. Sadly, because I wish if I did have prototypes, then they behave themselves and do as I want them to do, but they so often don't. I'm sure that actually things that happen to me and people that I meet do affect somehow by osmosis what I write, but I never ever feel that I am borrowing a character from real life. And I'm sure if I did, that even all the baddies in the book, the person who was the baddie in real life would never ever see him or herself as that character.
Kalbant apie 7 seseris, kurią esate labiausiai įsimylėjusi? Ar apskritai galima paminti savo personažą?
That's really like asking me which of my children I love most. I mean, you just can't, I can't say, because it is a bit like having a new baby every year. you know, and it does take 9 months. And of course you look at your beautiful new baby and you think, oh my God, maybe I love you best. But then of course next year you have another one and you think, oh my God, maybe I love you best. And so I really couldn't say which of the sisters I love best. And maybe ask me in 7 years' time and I'll be able to tell you. But on the other hand, maybe I won't, because they're all so different. And I'm now just about to start writing number 4. So the good news is that you guys have got lots and lots of books ahead of you. And probably I will have finished them by the time you're on number 3.
Ar galite šiek tiek papasakoti, aš nežinau, kiek auditorijoje yra skaitytojų, kurie jau skaitė apie Mają, tie, kurie neskaitė, gal bus įdomu išgirsti šiek tiek apie Mają. Kas ji tokia? Kaip trumpai ją apibūdinsime? Ir kuo išsiskiria iš kitų seserų?
Okay, well, there are 7 sisters in the Seven Sisters star cluster, and also in the mythology. And each of these sisters has a specific personality in the mythology. So what I have done is base my girls, really, the sisters, loosely on their mythological personalities. That was really hard to say. And so Maya is the eldest of these sisters, and she is renowned as this beauty, but she's also a hermit in mythology. And so the sister is living in modern times. She's 34, you know, she's a very bright woman, and she actually worked, bizarrely, works as a translator. And, but she lives alone. And nobody knows why she isn't married and out there and having fun. And in this first book, you meet all the sisters, because they all have to come home to their family house, which is called Atlantis. And it's on the shores of Lake Geneva, because their father, the mysterious Pasaulinių, has died. But when they get to the house, they discover that Pasaulinių, who adopted them all from all corners of the world, has actually decided to go off and be buried by themselves. So there's no funeral. So anyway, they all get a letter from Pasaulinių. We've only opened Maya's in this one, so I won't tell you about the others, but that gives some clue to where Pasaulinių originally found her. But even though there are 7 sisters in this story, there are actually only 6 in the books, because, like in the myths, the 7th sister is missing. ... I certainly won't, although I do have to tell you a very, well, I say it's funny story, but it was something to do with me dying, so it's not that funny. But every year at our London book fair, all my publishers come for the book fair. And so for the last few years, we have had this lovely party, so that we have sort of 36 publishers, and they all meet, and we all have drinks together. And it is a bit like, you know, the United Eurovision Song Contest. And it's a beautiful evening for me, and they've all become friends. Anyway, we gave a presentation of the Seven Sisters series, and I was explaining what I'm now explaining to you, to all my very important publishers. And at the end I said, are there any questions? And so, guess what? Norway stepped forward. And he said to me, yes, I've got a question. What happens if you die? What do you mean? Well, I mean, does anyone else know the, last book in this series? You know, who Pasaulinių is, where the missing sister is? No. So anyway, so he said, well, you have to tell someone. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, I really don't want to write this down. It may sound stupid, but I'm paranoid. And so I keep it all in my filing cabinet in my head. But anyway, Stephen, my husband, and I were on a very long drive back through France up to England, and Stephen was falling asleep at the wheel. So I said, okay, to keep you awake, I am going to tell you the story of the last book. So he's like, go on then. So he's driving away, and I'm like, and then this, and then that, and oh my God.